Hello there everybody and welcome back to Movie Squirm. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 film Blink Twice, and this is directed by Zoe Kravitz on what is her directorial debut and stars Naomi Ackie and Channing Tatum. When a waitress is invited to an island by a tech billionaire, the fun starts to turn to mystery as she uncovers a dark secret. Now, this film wasn't exactly on my radar. The trailer didn't really blow me away or anything, but after hearing a few early reviews saying it was a little hidden gem of the year and way better than what they expected, I decided, why not? Now, I gotta say, this is a very intriguing mystery thriller movie. Once we get on this island with these characters, they just seem to be having the time of their lives. But the odd thing will happen here and there that just seems a little bit off. And then, as the movie progresses, we get even more of these odd things where I was just questioning what the hell is these billionaires up to here. I mean, the movie fully gets you invested and grips you and pulls you in. The movie also gives you little nuggets here and there where you think, that's going to come into play later on somehow. One example of this is this character has a lighter and she's the only one with a lighter on the island and everyone keeps borrowing it. But then they kind of keep forgetting who borrowed the lighter last, and it's just getting passed around. And you're thinking, why is there so much focus on this lighter? But it does come into play, and you realize, oh, that's where they were going with it. Also, there are like snakes on the island here, and Channing Tatum has hired his housekeepers to sort of go out and kill these snakes because they're overcrowding the place. And you just think, what's the deal with that? Why are they mentioning that? Why are they putting this in the movie? But lots of these little things do come to fruition, and I just thought there was some really smart writing there when it gets to the film's climax. And it's a film that relies heavily on its mystery. I mean, that's not new here. So many movies do that, but you have got to execute it if you want that to work. But what I will say is this movie also, while it's going along, has so many fun characters here who are just having the time of their lives on this paradise island, basically. And you're just kind of going along for the ride where they're drinking so much booze, they're taking drugs, they're dancing, they're bouncing off one another, and they're all just having fun together. It feels like they belong in this part of the world. And the film's got a really good cast here too. Really enjoyed Christian Slater as a side character in this movie. I mean, he just has this fun, entertaining personality, doesn't he? And he's just got one of them faces where, you feel like you're going to have a good time when he's on the screen. And I would like to see him in more of these roles where, he's really just oozing the entertainment factor. He's oozing fun, basically. However, Naomi Ackie is really the star of this movie in the character of Frida. I mean, she's kind of this nobody. She's just this everyday working girl at the start of the movie. But when this billionaire in Channing Tatum takes an interest in her, you can see how overwhelmed she is. I mean, you can see how excited she is in life. She feels like she's actually going somewhere. She feels like the next step of her life is about to begin and better things are going to happen. And you can just see this pouring out of her. But I thought she got that really across really well on screen. However, later on in the movie, when there's some terrifying things happening, I think she gets this petrified character out as well. And it's really a switch of what she's been doing for the rest of the movie. So, I think she had a bit of range there. And I thought she put in a great performance as our main protagonist. And she's someone you do get behind. And, you want her to get out of this situation and uncover what is really happening. Now, I thought this movie had some good editing in there as well. There were some dark moments in this movie. And Zoe Kravitz has a visual style where she can put some stuff that looks really creepy on the screen. But what I mean by how well it's edited is that it just kind of flashes on the screen. I mean, blink, excuse the pun, and you'll miss it. But I do think it was a good way of doing this because it adds to the mystery. It's like giving us them little nuggets here and there because most of these scenes happen in the past and you can kind of build a picture in your head as what is actually going on. But I thought that was a good choice, and the directing and the editing sort of complement each other there. Kravitz really does get the best out of this location as well. I'm not going to say here directing was anything extraordinary. I'm not going to go over the top or anything, but it was fine. However, she used this location to its full advantage. You can see why these characters are having so much fun. You can see why they want to be there. I mean, she just made it look like paradise, basically. Now, I've got a bit of a mixed aspect here regarding Channing Tatum. I've seen a little bit of hate towards his acting online lately, mainly because of his role in a movie that came out this year. But, I mean, I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he does a job. But that is my main problem with him. He just basically does a job. He's a competent actor. I don't think he's ever really nailed down a role where you can stand out and go, wow, Channing Tatum was absolutely incredible in that film. And I think that is the case here. I mean, Blink Twice was a real chance for him to grab the bull by the horns and just show everyone what he's made of. But again, it just felt like, oh, yeah, Channing Tatum done an okay job here, nothing more. I mean, this will all be probably proved to be bullshit one day when, he really does excel and goes on to win an Oscar or something. But for now, I just think he's a fine actor, nothing more. And in this role, there were side characters who felt more memorable than him, sadly. Now, with this movie being a mystery thriller and me being fully invested, I really thought we were going to get an explosive end to this movie. And it will work for a lot of people. But for me, I was kind of feeling left a little bit underwhelmed. Maybe it's because I heard it was a hidden gem and I built so many things up in my head as to what this could actually be. And it just felt like a little bit unsatisfactory, put it that way. I mean, like I said, mystery thriller movies have really got to, depend on its third act. And here, it just felt a little bit flat to me. And a little bit generic, like I'd seen this movie before. There's also some social commentary here too that I don't think a lot of people may appreciate. And I just thought, okay, that's what they're doing here. I don't hate it, I don't love it. But I'm not against social commentary at all. If your movie has got something interesting to say, then I'm all for it. But most of the time, I kind of just want to go and lose myself in the world of movies. But if it is something interesting, I can take notice and go, that was actually quite clever. But this one, I feel like I've seen it 1,000 times, and I don't think it brings anything new to the table. We also have a horror trope in here that happens at the start of the movie, so I don't consider this a spoiler, but I'm seeing it more and more in horror these days, although this is more of a thriller movie anyway. However, I just feel like the whole hand your phones in, no one's allowed any phones because we're all going to be sociable together and no one's allowed on their phone is creeping into too many movies these days. So at the start of this movie, everyone has to put their phone in a bag and an AR put to one side. So, later on they can't call for help. And I just feel like that is such an easy way to get round writing. Now, like I said, this movie does have good writing, but this always feels lazy to me. However, on the other side of it, I can see it as a double-edged sword because it must be really hard for horror writers these days to work around phones. I mean, so many movies in the 80s and the 90s worked because people didn't have mobile phones and they couldn't find their way out of a dangerous situation. But that has all changed now, hasn't it? So it must be a little bit awkward for horror writers. I just wish they could find another way around it. However, I do appreciate that this movie used it as a plot point a little bit later on, so it doesn't fully just push it to one side, basically. As fun as the characters are here, though, there's this one character that grated on me a little bit. Now, it's this woman who's always stoned, and she is basically just talking like this all the time. Oh, yeah, let's go and have some fun, guys. Yeah. And in the end, it was just grating on me. I just really started to get frustrated with this character. And the problem with it is, even more, is that she is given most of the comedic dialogue. Now, people in my audience were kind of laughing at her, but maybe it'll work for certain people. But for me, I just didn't like her at all. And the comedic one-liners and stuff definitely didn't work because I just could not get on board with this character at all. I'm just going to go ahead and make this movie now. I'm going to give Blink Twice a 6 out of 10. A fun enough mystery thriller that wasn't the hidden gem of the year like most people were suggesting. But it's a good time. Okay, at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for Blink Twice is that Frida early on is looking at a viral video of Lenny Kravitz. And of course, Lenny Kravitz is the real-life father of Zoe Kravitz. Okay, guys, hope you all enjoyed this review. Don't forget to check out more 2024 horror movie reviews. They'll be in the link down below. What did you think of Blink Twice? Please do let me know. And if you want more horror content, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. It would really help me out. Thanks so much, guys. You take care. And I'll see you on the next video.